Hey, Troopers, how's it going? SG here. um, I just came live. Well, I'm gonna come live. Ha ha ha. I don't know why I say that. Just got on live stream just 'cause, you know, it's funny to me to see how people like they twist. This cat again. This is fucking ridiculous. It really is. Every time I go live, every time doesn't matter. Doesn't make a difference. Um, it's weird because I'll watch, these, other live streams that go on about, there's one particular woman actually too that really kills me. And I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say who it is. Laura. Laura, you kill me. You really do. You kill me because there's nothing about your personality that displays empathy. I know you call yourself an empath, Laura, but there's nothing about your personality that displays that. I need you to understand that. I've never seen you say one word of sympathy, understanding, um, even complimentary to anybody, not even people you like. The people you like, I've seen you act like I don't even know, like, if you really like anybody just as much as you like yourself. I mean, and then I see you, your your whole, you're talking about, Tiffany does this to you and Tiffany does that to you. I don't know how long ago that was, but I don't see it anymore. And you literally listed a shitload of things. For the first time I went over and was looking at some of those live streams that you've been in lately, which I'll get to. But um, you start going on saying Tiffany's got a gut, Tiffany is ugly, Tiffany is stupid. Basically, you said something about algebra. Tiffany doesn't know your asshole from your vagina. I'm sure she probably doesn't want to. Um, Calling her Joseph, calling her it, calling her he. What is your gig? You say she wants to be like you, she wants to be you. Well, she was Tiffany before you were you, okay? Um, and I've never seen Tiffany act like she wants to be like you. Never, ever, 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 ever. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but you went into a list of things that I've been going through and said Tiffany did them all, but there's things, details that how the hell would you know those things? You did them. You did them. I mean, it's common behavior for somebody to point the finger at, somebody. I mean, it happens all the time on those crime shows where, the person who did the crime is actually going, well, have you checked this person out? And have you checked that person out? And have you checked this person out? Because they did this and they're like this and they're this. It's these kind of things that, really concern me because a couple of those people who are, guilty of being They'll even say things like, oh, narcissists will imitate victims' behavior. I don't think that you're correct. Um, I mean, you could be correct, but I don't know if you're meaning like that. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Perhaps you were saying that meaning, um, yeah, that's a good point. All right, let's say no. Maybe you're correct there. Maybe you're correct there. That person who said that. It wasn't Laura who said that. It was somebody else in the room who said narcissists will imitate victims' behavior. Now, you could absolutely be right there. 'Cause I just thought about that. That's why I paused. Because that could be why these people who have no evidence of being stalked, you know, none, no evidence of being bullied, no evidence of this or that. Um, and yet that's why they scream the loudest, really, or talk the loudest and the most, is because they want to convince people of it without evidence. And it's always strange to me how people, like I heard Izzy say, you claim you've been cancer bullied and without showing any evidence of it. Of course, I showed evidence of it. It happened during the whole time I had cancer. Her herself was putting up comments saying, I sort of would have spent my last time on earth if I was terminally ill. I mean, even in Bobbles, where after I said happy meltdown, it was like that that whole shit that Luna was saying, on the panel a couple of days before that about me, about how evil I am. Before I even said happy meltdown, nobody noticed that frickin' Luna had a hair across her ass about me and was all fine with the parodies that Sharon had done with the wig on, saying they weren't about her. She's just an asshole who has cancer. So it's okay for her to say those kind of things about a woman she doesn't even know. It's okay for her to take a video that had nothing to do with her and show a 16-second clip of it where I'm mentioning no names because it wasn't addressed to anyone in particular. It was addressed to the person in the back chat that was threatening my daughter. Okay, had nothing to do with Luna. Nothing. Nothing to do with Diana Santos. Nothing to do with Jules. Nothing to do with anybody. And yet she thinks it's okay for her to post a clip of a video. And you might want to get that down, Luna. I'm serious. You might want to take that down. You don't get to slander me like that. You don't get to. I don't know you, and you don't get to use clips from my videos. You too, Debbie. You don't get to anymore. If you think I'm kidding and that there hasn't been progress made in the slandering of me, you are wrong in resolving the slander. So you might want to remove anything pertaining to me and they are untrue. Okay? Nowhere ever did I say anything about killing people except for the person that was threatening my daughter. That was a nameless person. Didn't know who it was, but I said if I ever found out who they were in trouble. So you don't get to slander me and lie. And yet, oh, I say happy meltdown. Finally say something to fucking Luna. After everything she's been saying for the last couple of months about a complete stranger trying to insert herself. And I'm the bad guy. Oh, hell no. Mm-mm. No. And another thing for me, I wouldn't get up on the panel, not because I was scared, but because I don't need to settle my differences with people like yourself or Bobbles publicly. Things like that, those are where you respect the boundaries of friendship and a person's privacy. And when you have their phone numbers, you speak to them private. That's what adult women do. That's what adult women do. They don't go on social media and, you know, they don't go on social media and talk about private things or things that they don't know of, or most of the time things that aren't even their business or anybody's, you know? Fucking ridiculous. To hear somebody say that I provide no evidence, ugh, I provide loads of evidence. Loads of it. I've already provided loads of evidence to the proper people. I mean, yeah, you didn't get anybody, there's nothing that you have to prove that it's okay. What has, been going on is okay. Now, I need to understand this. I don't watch your channel much, but I've been watching it lately. What's your obsession with Jews? Really, what's the obsession with Jews? Can somebody explain that to me? Can somebody explain? Hey, you two, stop. I mean, hey, Connie, I can see you. Hi, Connie. I'm just going to pin it real quick so you can see I can see you. Hi, Bobby Ramos. I mean, I'm just curious. No, yeah, I'm Jewish too, Connie. And, not practicing. Right, right. Not practicing, but I just want to know, Yaxley, what is the obsession over there with Jews? It seems like that's like a pattern of you also had, oh, okay. I'm just curious because I don't understand, like, if the obsession has something to do with political. I saw you talking about the state of Israel, and uh, I don't even understand. I mean, what is so hard about the fact that no, no, he's not here, Connie. I just had looked at one of his video, a couple of his live streams, and they talk about Jews a lot and call people Nazis, and then say that they would like to talk to a Nazi, and that this person's a Holocaust denier, and this person's this and this person's that, and I mean, here's the thing: people with Jewish ethnicity in them, and I don't know, Connie, if this is the same with yourself, but um, people who have, are descended, their descendants are, you know, Jewish, you've got Jewish blood in you, which I think a lot of people do actually, and they just don't maybe know, but whatever. Um, but because that's the thing too. Like when something can be traced through DNA, then that's more than just a religion. See what I'm saying? They can actually in DNA find out if you're, I mean, when something goes as deep as DNA, that's more than just a religion. But wow, wow. Did they make it out or no, Connie? Ah, that's sad. And a lot of people they don't even know that ghetto is what they were putting. Ghetto is where they were making the Jews. But can you imagine? Can you imagine keeping a kosher kitchen? Okay, and you keep a kosher kitchen, and your mother before you handed down that dishware, you know, that silverware that was kosher. Okay, because they kept a kosher kitchen. Okay, so that those plates, all of that dishware, all of it has been passed down. It's tragic. Isn't that awful, Connie? That brings tears to my eyes, Connie. Yeah, yeah, Connie. I gotta take a second for that. What a powerful statement. I gotta put it together. Okay. Just like where Connie said, robbed of her belongings, okay? Those people, when they came and even smashed their dishes and everything, they didn't realize that those dishes were kosher. Yeah, I think that's why they came over. They were Russian Jews on my father's side, but I didn't have much uh speaking with my father, but my father was a decorated gunner's mate in World War II, Connie, and I feel like how proud, you know what I mean? Like that's the thing. I didn't know my dad much, but uh to know that he was a decorated gunner's mate in World War II, I think that's something, you know. Because he's Jewish and must be something too, you know. Was he a child? Yeah, he was a child, huh? And sent to the UK at the kids refugee program. Yeah. Uh-huh. God, thank God for the English. Thank God for Great Britain. Oh, thank God. Thank God. I watched a great documentary, Connie. Hi, Gone John. I watched a great documentary about the British soldiers that were Jewish, and man, it was really a good documentary. Uh, it was how, I mean, they knew that Britain had done something too with Israel. They had something to do with where there was gonna have to be a fight against Britain, even, with Israel, and for them to have something was gonna, they were gonna have to leave, and they were actually taking um taking guns and stuff because they knew, so taken from him. Oh man, all those things. And when I hear these people and they cry about and they talk about their reparate, God, I mean, my God, could you imagine 6 days in a fucking train, a cattle train, where you're packed in, you can't even sit down, and they don't feed you, and they don't let you go to the bathroom, and your baby dies of starvation in your arms. That's what happened. And then they'd just throw them into a pile when they got off the fucking thing, if you made it off that train. Oh, God. And to keep a kosher kitchen and then have to use the same bowl to shit in and eat out of and have to clean it with muddy rainwater. And if you lost your bowl, you were screwed. That was the first thing stolen when somebody, not stolen, but taken when somebody would die. And they sit over there in that live stream over there, and they talk about it like it's something political, and it's not. It's something that has to do with, you know, humanity. And that started when they crucified Jesus, right, to death. Yeah, exactly. Not before they didn't suck the fat out of them and cut the hair off them. Yeah, they sucked the fat out for soap, and that was what was rationed off to the soldiers. They only knew they were using the soap. My mother would turn over in her grave if she knew that the soap that they were giving during the rations in World War II was made out of the Jews. And hair was used for hair cloth for Oshkosh B'gosh. Remember their durable material? Remember? That was hair cloth made out of the Jews' hair. It's so disturbing to know that there's companies that are, oh, okay. Wow, plug it in, plug it in. Very sad. And I just want people to know that when they crucified Jesus, that was that was to them the slaughtering of the lamb. It was like when the angel of death went over the houses, remember in the shat, remember that in the Ten Commandments? And he said to smear the blood of a lamb over your door and it would pass, you wouldn't be harmed. That's Jesus. They were making a mockery of that story by slaughtering the Lamb of God, which was Jesus. Okay? That's why when mean people will say, mostly, I'm not going to say it, but what mean people will say, oh, those bleeding hearts, they're making reference to Jesus's bleeding heart where they stabbed him with the spear. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't leave out the part in the Bible where when his blood poured down, they probably smeared themselves with it. That wouldn't surprise me. And I'm not trying to diss anything right there, but I do, uh, you know, think a lot, and the smearing of drinking the blood of Christ, eating the. Why would anybody want cannibalism to symbolize something? And the word Holocaust is in the Bible. And that's where Hitler was thinking what Hitler was thinking. Okay, Connie. And Jews have a fear of history repeating itself. And when you got people who can't even know that getting on social media and screaming that somebody is a slut and a whore and a C word and this and that, and you're a man, by the way, and the other woman who's sitting there talking about having a vibrator in her vagina, her ever so small vagina, because she's a very small woman. So her asshole is so small too. That's, how she describes. And those are the people talking about the Jews and the state of Israel and stuff. Please don't involve yourself in something so important in that same conversation, because you can't imagine. If you don't think your own behavior of going on social media and screaming about a woman, any woman, or even putting your personal business with her out there because your butt hurt is okay, then you could be probably just about as capable as those concentration camp fucking officers were. Your behavior needs to be put in check, or please stay out of the state of Israel and anything that has to do with it in regard to the Jews. Thank you. If you don't have the common sense enough to know what hurts people's feelings and what should be done and shouldn't be, then please do not take any stance about Israel or the Jews. I'm asking you, because to some people, it does matter. And I don't understand your concern in the same live stream where you're calling a woman that you had a 3-month out of your entire life. Think about how small of an amount of time that is and how much time you're spending on it. And somewhere some woman might have come across you and thought, oh, he sounds interesting, and then heard that and she could have been the woman of your dreams living in the next town over. But because you're spending all this time on this woman, calling her every name in the book that would be a red flag to some other woman, saying, "Oh, I wouldn't want to date this guy," even if she did do those things to him, it still shouldn't be on social media with him telling everybody that he's leaving comments everywhere, just trying to navigate this community. Why? And if that's the type of person you are, stop talking about the Jews, please. I'm asking nicely. It's offensive. That's good, Connie. Yeah, it's just disturbing, you know. You want, but it's such an important subject. When um, because because I was watching, you know, some of Yaxley's live stream, and he talks about, you know, the state of Israel and Zionism and fucking the Jews and Nazis and calls everybody Nazis, and he does this and he does that, and then he also thinks that, you know, calling a woman a C word, or that he's been real, but he goes, "Oh, the only other person that I was romantically involved with on the internet is this person, and they're a Nazi too." How is I know, but how is everybody to these people, not just, you know, not just yet Nazis, pedophiles. I mean, they go for the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of names to be calling people, and then they want to talk about something as important as the state of Israel in the same live stream. And I'm just asking him, come on, if you're going to be passionate about something and put all your time into something, make it be, coming from somebody that's not so mean, you know? And Laura, you're the one who's obsessed with Tiffany. I'm sorry, man. You never stop talking about her. Tiffany never brings you up unless you're somewhere blaming her for something. And then she'll say, no, it's not. That's what, okay? But Tiffany does not bring you up. She never, ever does. But I see you in every single live stream talking about Tiffany. Laura, get over it, man. And I'm not trying to be mean, but you have a beautiful singing voice. And I don't know why you didn't capitalize on it. I know that you were using Alexa to play trivia, not Trivia Pursuit. But all I'm saying is that, like, you are a pretty girl, but the way you talk and the way you present yourself is really just abusive to yourself. Oh, I don't know anything about that, Connie. Can you remove that? I don't want kids brought into it. Can you remove your comment, or if there's a mod here, just remove the comment? Is it removed? 'Cause I can't tell back here. Hi, Night Owl. Is it gone? Bueller. Bueller. And I can go out of the thing and do it, but I just need to know if it's gone or not. Doesn't give me the opportunity to remove comments. Uh, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Ha, so silly. So silly. Me too. I slept good too. Yeah, women, I mean, are getting treated badly throughout history. You know that? Really. They really do. There's a big old lion on this one. I should do that over the. You know they used to actually auction off bereaved widows years ago? They call them relics. Isn't that horrible? Isn't that horrible? That's why and I'm not trying to undermine anybody's fight, okay? But I'm just trying to say that people don't have to destroy things and everything to make people realize that they've had, the slavery and all that stuff was bad. I mean, we know it was bad. We know it was bad, but we can't turn back time. But there was bad stuff going on, man, to the Jews, to the Irish, to the little kids, man. With child labor. I mean, my God, the world owes everyone an apology. But a lot of those people are gone now, and we can only move forward and destroying things and still arguing with the past and that's not fixing it. That's when history will repeat itself in a lot of ways, and none of them are good. There's 18 people here with we got two talking, two talking. Yeah, they would sell them off the land that belonged to the man who died. And I think that's also what happened with the Salem witch trials. I can see you, Connie. Okay, I can see you. You should change your last name. You should change your last. Yep, I know. I think in the Salem witch trials that when their husbands died, because a lot of those women that they killed, their husbands had passed away, and I think they wanted their land and shit. Man, I can't believe. Oh, fine. You're funny. Um, yeah. Raffle them off, not raffle them, auction them off. Sometimes it's that, oh my God, they say, that's why, now I never knew this, that's why when you go to those old cemeteries and you'll see that the guy is married right away, boom, like that, right? Because they used to do it. It said it says, it was written that an attractive widow had a good chance of being remarried within the year to a well-off widower. For both men and women at this time believed it was wise to console themselves as promptly as possible after a marital loss. Even women from wealthy backgrounds, get this, would surprisingly enough have to endure the humiliation of a public auction. Even in 1776, 1782. Oh my God. Isn't that awful? What if they had children? I gotta know. What if they had children? What happened to their kids? It says no poorhouses existed in the early days of Cape Cod colony, when land that belonged to men who had died could not be sustained by their families. It was disposed of by the order of the general court, and the relics, the widows, would be sold off. The annual process of selling bereaved wives became known as the widow's vendu. They were sold for what was deemed as a widow's year, and were often sold more than once. Prices varied yearly, but in 1770 the average value of a widow was £3. As the women grew older and more feeble, they were not valued as much, and some towns had difficulty disposing of them. Some women were reduced to as low as ninepence per year, whereas a young, vibrant widow could bring over £10. The expenses of keeping an ill widow always brought about much discussion, as the community didn't feel that it was their responsibility to pay the doctor of the family who had purchased the widow's charge. Oftentimes, the townspeople argued that the family overworked and underfed the widow. Such expenses were usually determined in advance, and if those expenses were deemed to be excessive or unnecessary, the widow was forced to continue her service without further medical attention. Wow. It was written that an attractive widow had a good chance of being remarried within the year to a well-off widower, for both men and women at this time believed it was to console themselves as promptly as possible after a marital loss. Even women from wealthy backgrounds would surprisingly enough have to endure the humiliation of a public auction. In 1776, a woman known as Mistress Lovell was set up for 1 year to Hosea Stevens for the sum of £9 and 6 shillings. Okay, so she must have been pretty, right? £9 and 6 shillings. She was auctioned 8 more times over the following year, and each year grew less and less appealing. According to the account, her clothes were incredibly shabby, so much so that by 1782 she was in desperate need of a new shirt. Oh my God. So in 6 years, 6 years, she'd had that same shirt on, probably with her boobs hanging out, and been auctioned off 8 times. And she started off bringing almost £10, where they said the young, vibrant one would bring that much. And now this woman's standing there probably without a shirt on. The townspeople voted to purchase one for her, and she was sold into service again soon after. This gentle woman spent 7 years in servitude and died on a stormy night in September 1783. Her body was put in a poverty box that was used to bury those who did not have the means to purchase a coffin, and was laid under the pine trees near a local church. Her clothes were deemed unsuitable for her last entrance into the meeting house. Because of the way she was dressed, they wouldn't bring her into the church. Can we remove that comment, please? Can we remove that comment, please? I don't want to hear anything like that. I know we've all heard, but I don't want to hear that. There's an extraordinary. Okay. Her clothes were deemed. A sailcloth was thrown over her coffin, was thrown over the coffin, while the townspeople debated what to do with her. Finally, they decided a sheet would be purchased for the widow to be buried in. There's an extraordinary story that involves Jane Bumpus, a widow of Sieur Louis Bumpus, who came from France to the French colony in Canada and then migrated south. After her husband died, she was placed for auction, and when she was brought before the townspeople, she scowled and yelled out, "For shame, for shame." The minister instructed Jane to be quiet, and since she was a religious woman, she respected his wishes. She came from hardy stock and seemed to take care of herself. She was sold to several different families over the year, but at each year sold at a lower price and forced to work even harder. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop! 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 Get my fucking nerves, man. Go lay down. Yeah, go lay down, buddy. She was devoted to the children of these families and also to the ones who lived in the communities in which she served. When diseases like smallpox and diphtheria ran through the community, she would dismiss herself and go and nurse the suffering children. She put little value on her own existence, and her dedication to these children won her the devotion, and they called her Aunt Jane. Smart and outspoken, she kept an eye on the townspeople too, and she had no problem calling people out when she saw them breaking laws, such as not keeping the Sabbath. Sounds like a bitch. Just saying. Just saying. I'm sure she was bitter. How horrible is that, though, huh? Public auction. And you come from a wealthy family, too. And what about their kids? I want to know. Maybe the kids weren't dying young. Maybe they were killing them. Wow. Wow. I'll bet you half the people that we think that, it happened this way, that it happened a whole different other way. Really do. Hi, Tommy Highway. How you been? Haven't seen you for a while. You got a show tonight? I keep trying to remind myself to go over there. When can I be on your show again? I want to be. I enjoyed that, doing that research and stuff. That was nice. I liked it. You got a show tonight, too? I can drop the link for it. Want me to look? I'll look. It doesn't show like a premiere or anything coming up. You do have one tonight coming up? Yeah, which is even worse, Night Owl. Even worse. It was legal. Yeah. Let me drop the link. I'll drop the link. Aren't you a mod here? No, I remember why. You fucking had that night where you were having a crazy night. Remember? I'll remind you. You were having a crazy night. And you were blocking everybody. And you were blocking everybody. You were. You were. You were blocking everybody. I think you had a little bit to drink that night. And you were mad at everybody. Even though I didn't even know you were here. So I went out and looked. And saw that you were blocking people. Like, simmer down, buddy. So funny. What's the show about tonight? That link I just dropped is the link to my friend Tommy's show and UFO Man. In case anybody's wondering. I'd like to do a little more research on what I was just reading to you guys about that, because, man, that makes me wonder about. Oh, you are? Is it the guy from Great Barrington, Tom Reed? And I know that that is such a coincidence, you guys, but it's not the chosen one, Tom Reed, that we're talking about. Did you have him on yet? I missed him. It was last week. What the hell? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Why didn't you tell me? Pisses me off. Yeah. That makes me mad. Why didn't you say that 6 days ago? What the fuck? I gotta go back and read. Oh, man. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Hi, Tanger. I know, but I wanted to watch the show. So if I had questions, you knew I wanted to watch that. He's right. I mean, a driving distance. I could drive there. My daughter went there this past summer. Oh, I'm bummed. Yeah, I bet. Were you on it? See, I could have taken your place as the co-host. Man, bummer. So mean. So mean. Recovery. Mean. Get me an interview with him. But I want to do it after I go. I want to do it like, has he been back there? Like ever since? Like since he's been, see, I had questions. I'm so mad. I had questions. Ah, ah. Will you have Tim come on the show so I can ask Tim? Would you do that for me? What do you mean, got the high? Okay. Where's Tim? Getting ready for a show, probably. I have questions. Bum. I'll be there. Everybody, I'm gonna drop the link again for Tommy's show is tonight at 9 o'clock. Last week, the one I wanted to see, he didn't tell me about because it had been scheduled for another time, and I set the reminder for that, and then so angry. So, what about Sweet Tommy? Sweet little Tommy Highway. Never does nothing wrong. Never does nothing. Sure he doesn't. I know, but I wanted to ask questions. I had questions. Question. That's how you say it in French. Question. I had le question. Le. La. Is it le or la? I heard secular human smells like feet. Just kidding. What happened? Net go live? No, she does that sometimes. She's funny. Funny lady. Where's Net? How come she hasn't been around? Net. Yoo-hoo. Calling Net. I use my psycho. Psycho. I meant to say psychic. She did. She's live. Net's live. Oh my gosh. All right. I'll end my live because I'll just go over Net. Peace, love, and tacos. I'll see you guys there. I'll drop the link for it actually first. Hold on. I'll drop Net's link and then I'll go over there. That woman. Why does she always do that to me? Why? I ask. Why? Just tell me why. Tell me why. Got peeps in here. She's so mean. I'm sorry. There's Net's live. Link. All right. I'll see you guys there. Peace, love, and tacos.